This is the ultra-responsive, accurate TLX with precision oversteer. And this is how we make it. Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
You tell your insurance company they made a mistake. The check they sent isn't enough to replace your totaled new car. The guy says they didn't make the mistake, you made the mistake. I beg your pardon? He says you should have chosen full car replacement. Excuse me? Let me be frank, he says. You picked the wrong insurance plan. No, I picked the wrong insurance company.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car, plus depreciation. Call 1-888-769-2147. And if you have more than one Liberty Mutual policy, you qualify for a multi-policy discount, saving you money on your car and home coverage. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-769-2147. That's 1-888-769-2147. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Trump head-to-head for the first time. The presidential debate, Monday, September 26th. All-day coverage on CNN.
Experience shiny, beautiful, natural-looking hair color with Madison Reed. Made with ingredients you can feel good about. Our smart 6-free formula delivers a fresh take on at-home hair color in over 40 gorgeous shades for every skin tone and hair texture. Easy to use, satisfaction, and happiness guaranteed. That's the beauty of Madison Reed. Visit today for free shipping on your first color at madison-reed.com.
Get the new Xfinity TV app, and for the first time ever, stream live TV, watch on demand, and download your DVR shows anywhere.
Anthony Bourdain, Hearts Unknown. New season premieres Sunday at 9 on CNN.
All right, I want to take you out to White Plains, New York, to the airport there. Hillary Clinton is expected to speak before boarding her campaign plane. MJ Lee is out there. Set the scene for us, MJ.
Hi, Carol. We are expecting Hillary Clinton to hold a press conference here on the tarmac at Westchester County Airport. We do expect her to address the incidents over the weekend in Minnesota, New Jersey, and New York. What this means, Carol, is that exactly 1 week before the first debate, the politics of terror will be taking center stage once again. And over the weekend, we saw both Clinton and Trump responding to the incident in New York and contrasting styles. Trump, of course, was very quick to call it a bombing. He said that a bomb had gone off in New York before he had much information about what had actually happened. Clinton, in the meanwhile, she said that she wanted to wait for more information before drawing any conclusions. Now, given the new information that we've gotten over the weekend, we'll see how much further she goes than in the statement that she released yesterday, where she did actually call the incident a planned terrorist attack. And no doubt about it, Carol, she will be trying to draw a contrast between herself and Donald Trump on the issue of terrorism and foreign policy. Carol?
All right, MJ Lee, we'll get back to you when Hillary Clinton begins speaking. Thanks so much. Mr. Trump, on his part, he spoke about it over the weekend, as did Hillary Clinton. But Mr. Trump appeared on Fox and Friends this morning, and he did comment on the bombings over the weekend. He slammed President Obama and Hillary Clinton's terror efforts overseas, in part for the bombings here in New York City and in New Jersey. And he suggested that local police get tough and dispense with being politically correct. Let's listen.
Our local police, they know who a lot of these people are. They're afraid to do anything about it because they don't want to be accused of profiling, and they don't want to be accused of all sorts of things. You know, in Israel, they profile. They've done an unbelievable job, as good as you can do. Sure. But Israel has done an unbelievable job, and they'll profile. They profile. They see somebody that's suspicious, they will profile. They will take that person and they'll check out, do we have a choice? Look what's going on. Do we really have a choice? We're trying to be so politically correct in our country, and this is only going to get worse.
All right, so that's what he said on Fox and Friends this morning. Here now to discuss, CNN senior political reporter Nia Malika Henderson and New York News and World Report senior politics writer David Cantonese. Welcome to you both. Good morning. So, David, what was Mr. Trump suggesting there?
You know, I don't know. I think that needs more probing. He is
35G.
I know he has suggested doing this in the past, but if he is outlining a position of profiling, I think more questions have to be asked of him. How exactly would he profile? What standards would he use? And I think in the light of the incidents over the weekend, he's certainly going to be asked exactly what he means by those comments. And I can't imagine Secretary Clinton agreeing with that.
Yeah, and Nia Malika, I asked about profiling because it wasn't so long ago that New York City police settled 2 lawsuits with the Muslim community in New York City for profiling. They had to pay out millions of dollars.
That's right, and most local police folks, particularly in New York, talk about the need to work with the different Muslim communities in their cities and towns to address the problem of terrorism. And one thing that's extraordinary about what Trump said there is he's essentially saying that local police aren't doing their job. Their job is to protect people. And he's saying they aren't doing that because they're afraid of whatever consequences and being called out for being politically correct or something politically incorrect. So I mean that's a really extraordinary claim. I don't expect that he has much evidence to suggest that local police aren't doing their jobs to the fullest that they can within the bounds of the law. So yeah, I mean here we go talking about terrorism. And I think the conventionalism has always been that terrorism, when an incident like this happens, that it benefits Donald Trump. I don't think there's much evidence that that's actually true. He does lead on terrorism in terms of you ask people who's going to be tougher on it. Terrorism and ISIS, I think Hillary Clinton leads in terms of handling the foreign policy more broadly. So we'll see what Hillary Clinton says today.
But again, David, it's just this big, bold statement. He comes out and he says something. And Hillary Clinton is going to be much more nuanced in her comments. I mean, you can probably guess it already before she even speaks, right? And in voters' minds, doesn't that big, bold talk resonate when things like this happen in our country?
Look, it usually does, because people get scared. They see these headlines come out, they see the pictures. I mean, if you're a person that is out and about in New York City on a Saturday night, this is absolutely frightening that this could happen on a sidewalk or a street corner at any given point in time. But look at the rolling information we got over the weekend. The other problem with these events, we never have as much information as we require politicians to have when they make these statements. I mean, originally they didn't have any connection. You had politicians coming out and officials saying there wasn't a connection to the events in New Jersey, in New York, and it was unclear. You're still getting some mixed signals about this from the state of New York and Mayor de Blasio about whether this was terrorism, whether it was intentional. It changed throughout the weekend, even over the last 24 hours. Of information on this. And then we require our presidential candidates to come out with statements on what they would do. And frankly, they're not getting this information much quicker than we all are. And Trump is responsible. He is going to be the Trump guy. He is going to be the one to slam down hard on the perpetrators, on the terrorists. Hillary Clinton, she is inherently more cautious. I think we will see that again today, and I think she wants that contrast with Donald Trump because she thinks even if it doesn't benefit her in the short term, where people, want a more emphatic reaction, they trust her more in the long term. I think that is her bet.
All right, we'll just have to wait and see what she says. There's comments coming from Hillary Clinton at any moment. Nia Malika Henderson, David Cantonese, thanks to you both. The next hour of Newsroom starts now.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And good morning, I'm Carol Costello. Thank you so much for joining me. We do begin with breaking news this morning. Officials now saying it is possible an active terror cell could be operating in the New York, New Jersey area after a string of weekend bombings. And investigators are on the hunt for this man, Ahmed Khan Lakhani. They now want to speak to him about the New York and Seaside Park explosion. Here's what we know right now. This man is 28 years old. He's a New Jersey resident. He was born in Afghanistan. He's a naturalized American citizen. Mayor de Blasio now calling for the public to help.
I want to be very clear. that this individual could be armed and dangerous. He should be treated as armed and dangerous. Anyone seeing him should call 911 immediately. But we definitely have now someone that we want to get in immediately for questioning.
This is a fascinating situation, part of the ongoing investigation unfolding right now in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The mayor of that town now says a raid happening there is linked to the explosion in New York City. And we're standing by, of course, waiting for Hillary Clinton to speak to reporters on the tarmac in White Plains. We do expect she will talk about the bombing. We'll bring those comments to you live when Hillary Clinton arrives at the airport in White Plains. CNN, of course, is covering the story from all angles this morning. We have to go to Bryn Gingras. Does she have breaking news? Bryn Gingras? Jim Burgess is at station in New York City. I hope you don't have breaking news. Good morning, Bryn.
Good morning to you, Carol. The news that we're getting right now is that Governor Cuomo is actually going to be coming down here in just a minute to thank first responders for all the efforts that they're putting in today, and then he's going to actually take questions. So we should hopefully learn about this, hopefully, investigation to the point of what he can give us information as to that. But yes, certainly right now focusing on the first responders, all the efforts that they're doing to secure New York City during this moment of time, and we're going to be learning more about hopefully again this investigation. We'll certainly get back to you as we get those answers.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a few questions because I know Governor Cuomo and the city council and Representative Chelsea District will be riding the subway down to where that bomb detonated over the weekend, just to show people that it's safe to ride the subway, that they should live their lives as normal. Is that sort of what's happening where you are?
All these National Guard members and all their patrols. We've seen heavily armed officers. We've seen K-9 units, and they are not only just standing here at force, but also, as you said, Carol, riding the subways at the airport and really being just greeted by all these commuters that are making their way to work this morning. I actually just spoke to a couple who is from Australia, and they said, you know, they've just traveled around the world, and they don't always get that feeling of being safe. But they said right here, right now, they're going to hear, and that's their job, Carol.
All right, thanks so much. Bryn Gingras reporting live from Penn Station. As you can see, there's an increased police presence here in New York City. In fact, New York has decided to hold over the overnight shift, so there will be more police officers on the job. You may get stopped and have your bag searched at any moment. It's just a precaution that they have to take over the weekend. As I said, we're covering the story from Everett. And joining me now is Joseph Giacalone, law enforcement trainer, former NYPD sergeant, and professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Also, Karen Greenberg is with me. She's the director of the Center on National Security at Fordham University Law School and a terrorism analyst. Thanks to you both for being here with me. So John, I'm going to start with you. So there's a terror cell. I mean, it's not lone wolves anymore. Now they suspect there might be a terror cell operating within New York City. That's concerning.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that law enforcement is going to do is, put these pieces together based on, the phone records, internet records, and video surveillance. And I think those three, which I refer to as the forensic horsemen, they'll be key in this because the background checks, the locations, the driver's licenses, the registered vehicles, all these things are going to play a role into where this guy is right now.
Karen, stand by. I want to go to Shimon Prokopez. He's our CNN investigative producer. He broke the news that police suspect a terror cell now is operating in New York and New Jersey. So, Shimon, what specifically can you tell us about that?